Alright, shout out to my man Dom Jarvis for this complex and excellent recommendation entitled Critical Thinking, Consider the Verdict by Bruce M. Waller. Originally I was going to go chapter by chapter, but that'll take me like 2 hours, so I'm just going to read a little bit and bang out. This book is seriously educational. Reading it was like going through an exhaustive list of logical fallacies, each with its own chapter, and an encyclopedia of analytic philosophy, both in combination, as well as a lengthy course in ethics and jurisprudence. Jurisprudence or legal theory is the ethical study of law, principally by philosophers, but from the 20th century also social scientists. Scholars of jurisprudence, also known as jurists or legal theorists, hope to obtain a deeper understanding of legal reasoning, legal systems, and legal institutions, the role of law and also the role of law in society. Now, I was first introduced to analytic philosophy and inferential role semantics by Groundwork for the Metaphysics of MGTOW, about a year ago, give or take. Actually, no, less than that. Whenever I made my third or fourth video, around that time. Okay, so not very long ago, and because I never went to university, so I didn't get an intro to philosophy class. So, Groundwork for the Metaphysics of MGTOW recommended it to me. I'll leave a hyperlink to his channel. Analytic philosophy, sometimes called analytical philosophy, is a style of philosophy which became dominant in the West at the beginning of the 20th century in the United Kingdom, United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and Scandinavia. The majority of university philosophy departments today identify themselves as analytic departments. Additional reading for all chapters of this book may be found therein. The following caption from an entry section was so riddled with logical errors that I thought I'd include it for fun. A strong-willed jury is the name of that section. In South New Wales, the defendant was charged with the theft of several cows. The jury finished their deliberations and returned to the court with this verdict: not guilty, if he returns the cows. The jury, or rather the judge, was so outraged that he ordered the jury back for further deliberations. The jurors, deeply offended, soon returned with a new verdict: not guilty, and he doesn't have to return the cows. As you can see, they imply that he had the cows, which means that he stole them. Under the context of their basically they're saying he didn't steal the cows, so does he own the cows then? The point is this: in the context, they're saying that he's guilty, but they're not going to charge him. Alright, so I thought it was funny. So we evaluate arguments every day. Alright, that's pretty much it. I mean, whether it's television, magazines, whatever, every day we're evaluating arguments. So this book pays close attention to jury deliberations, but it is not exclusively or primarily concerned with courtroom reasoning. Jury deliberation is profoundly important, but it is only a tiny fraction of the critical thinking you must do. Every day you are bombarded with advertisements, and to find helpful substance in them, you will have to critically winnow out the masses of chaff. You are a citizen of a Republican society. They say democratic, but democracy is just mob rule. We don't let illegal immigrants vote. That would be true democracy, just letting anybody around. Oh, everybody gets a vote no matter what, even if they're a felon, even if they don't live here. That's democracy. So he means Republican society. And thus, wrong, Mr. Waller. And thus it is your responsibility to carefully and rationally evaluate the policies and programs of your local, state, and federal government, and to vote intelligently and perhaps campaign for the candidate that you consider most capable. You encounter advertisements, the evening news magazines, opinion journals, scientific reports, editorials, textbooks, all making claims that are sometimes contradictory and sometimes slanting the material presented. Sorting these out, distinguishing fact from speculation, and weighing competing theories and interpretations require the same reasoning skills that are required of an effective and reasonable juror. The subjects of this book is critical reasoning in all its applications, and it was, like I say, quite lengthy. They went through everything. I mean, if you were to look up a Wikipedia for logical fallacies and analytical philosophy and just read everything connected to it, that'd be this book. It was the thick one. So, okay, yeah, so it's essentially concerned with good reasoning, which requires practice, and it is not something that can be turned on and off like a politician's charm. All right, so practice makes perfect. You know, like I said whenever I started out, the analytical philosophy. There's a method to it. There is, okay? So no matter how crazy something sounds, it can be made sense of or be determined that it's nonsense through the same methods. And be sure to exercise caution as you watch for analogies that look like slippery slopes. A logical fallacy joke. According to a characteristic paragraph by analytical philosopher Bertrand Russell, modern analytical empiricism differs from that of Locke, Berkeley, and Hume by its incorporation of mathematics and its development of a powerful logical technique. It is thus able, in regard to certain problems, to achieve definite answers, which have the quality of science rather than of philosophy. It has the advantage of, in comparison with the philosophies of the system builders, of being able to tackle its problems one at a time, instead of having to invent one stroke to block theory of the whole universe. To invent at one stroke a block theory of the whole universe. Its methods, in this respect, resemble those of science. Hey, Dom Jervis, I'm waiting for your first upload. Are you going with the old delayed release mechanism? Alright, well, I want you all to go ahead and check out this book, Critical Thinking, Consider the Verdict by Bruce M. Waller. It was an excellent read.